Hi guys, back again for part two. Let's see if this is getting me. So I've been out working on the car. The engine's still faulty. It's driving me mad on my VW split screen. It needs taking apart. So I'm going to do that tomorrow. I wanted to do part two of my video with Priscilla Presley. Did she love Elvis Presley? Part two. And your comments. And the whole point of this is for you guys to give me your reaction. If you think they were truly in love, if you think Elvis truly loved Priscilla, was it infatuation? Was it money or wanting fame? And going through the generations. So from when they first met right until till he passed away, and then even after that, from all the interviews Priscilla has given over the last 40 odd years, do you guys think they're genuine and from the heart and that she means what she says, or do you think what she is saying is just an act? And if you want to sort of break down different points and different interviews, different things that you've read, and just let me know your comments. Obviously, the Child Bride book. And I'm trying to get a feel here of what the fans and my subscribers' honest feelings are about Priscilla and if it was true love, and Elvis, if it was true love. But also, if you are a Priscilla fan, I'd like to know your point of view, because this video isn't just about hating on Priscilla. I want an honest opinion that is not, I don't want people to be rude and mouthy and disrespectful. I want the comments to be kind and respectful and thoughtful, rather than just angry and upset and vicious. Yeah, so I want to keep it all nice. Either way, whatever your opinion is, whether you think it was genuine or not, or if you think Elvis's was genuine or not, please give me your opinions, and we can read them through together. So, and between us, we can decide if we think it's genuine. Hello, Barbara, Kendall. Where are you from? I'm from Southwest UK. My name is Louis. I'm going to give you a hello. Nice to meet you. Nice to make your acquaintance. So what I'm going to do, guys, I'm going to read through. So I posted this video 7 hours ago, and I'm going to read through the comments I've had on that video so far, and just go with it, go through it with you guys. So let's go. Let's see if we can get the first comment. From Carrollton, KY. I'm from the UK, so where is KY? Please let me know, Barbara. Okay, first comment. And I'm near Bristol, so Bristol is 20 minutes. From America. And KY stands for, please tell me. So just, you know, my name's Louis. I'm 56. I'm 57 in July, and I'm a lifelong Elvis fan. I absolutely adore everything about Elvis and have done since I was about 4 or 5 years old, and I'll never change. Kentucky. Okay. So do you know Bristol? Have you heard of Bristol? I expect you have. I actually live in a seaside town called Weston-super-Mare. It's a holiday resort, and we have many people here on holiday. It has a massive beach and promenade and a big pier, and it's all geared up for the day trippers. And today is a beautiful sunny day, Barbara. Beautiful. And Weston-super-Mare seafront promenade is buzzing, and I've been there today with my 4-year-old boy Tino. So I'm going to start with the comments at the top. So Gay, I'll say the name of the people that post the comments. Gay Young, she's not entitled to anything. Divorce rings a bell. How many women that are divorced would do what she has done? Then we've got Lorraine Roberts. This is a long comment. Now, I warn you, some of the comments we get about Priscilla, especially if it's someone who's a real fan of Priscilla, are quite angry. So I'll read them. It's the first time I've read this comment. It was 5 hours ago. So if it gets a bit nasty, I'll try and censor it a bit. If you were trying to understand why people all of a sudden, particularly Elvis fans, half of us all of a sudden don't like Priscilla anymore, then start doing your research, Louis, and tell you your supporters to stop trying to silence people by having people blocked off Facebook and silenced, because that is the biggest problem with people whose bias support Priscilla. I'm not sure about the Facebook thing, but okay. Where are we? They can't handle the truth. The facts, because all she ever done is lie about everything. She was in a 22-year relationship, secretly married to Marco Garcia Garibaldi, who she also had a son to. That's the love of her life, and that's who she should be buried next to. The father of her son, and her son's, she's Garibaldi's Garcia. Sorry, it's a bit not clear, but I understand she's saying he should be buried. She should be buried next to her son. I'm guessing she means Navarone, but we could also say she should be buried next to Lisa Marie Presley and next to Benjamin, her grandson. So, you know, she does have more than, she had 2 kids and she did have a grandchild. So obviously we know about the twins. But anyway, when she found out she was pregnant with Navarone, she was ecstatic, so happy that she even showed off her pregnancy with the media, and even was a TV show, Dallas. Her pregnancy was written into the script, proving that Navarone and Marco are the true loves of her life. If it only took her 24 hours to switch off Lisa Marie's life support machine, often it would take how long it would take for it. If it was your child, 2 days, 2 weeks, 2 months, no matter how much experts tell you that your child is brain dead, 24 hours, Priscilla, to Lisa Marie's life. Okay, that was a bit unclear, but I don't agree with any of that. This whole thing about Priscilla rushed to turn off Lisa Marie's life support system is just ridiculous. I'm sorry. And then what else does she say? She says that because that she was ecstatic when she found out she was pregnant with Navarone. Well, of course she was. Every mother is ecstatic when they find out they're pregnant. And yes, she wanted to show off the pregnancy. Of course she did. She's a mother. Okay, it was written into the script of Dallas. I don't really see the relevance of that point. I think you're trying to say that she loved Marco Garibaldi and Navarone more than she loved anyone else, including Lisa Marie Presley. I think that's just rubbish. I'm sorry. I know that her and Lisa Marie Presley had many difficulties, but no one is going to tell me that Priscilla Presley didn't love Lisa Marie. I don't care. Yes, I agree that their relationship became very strained and they had loads of problems. Scientology was a mess and serious financial arguments. And I'm sure that Lisa Marie and Priscilla Presley have millions of arguments about how Priscilla treated Elvis and vice versa. Of course, yeah. But anyone telling me that Priscilla doesn't love her child I'm sorry, that I can't agree with that. But yes, the way Priscilla Presley has grieved over Lisa Marie is very strange. She does not show her grief, and I don't understand that. I'm sure behind the scenes, behind closed doors, that the way she grieves for Lisa Marie is completely different, and for Benjamin. So, you know, I'm trying to be fair here. Of course, she loves all her kids and her grandkids. Of course she does. But yes, Priscilla has made loads and loads of mistakes, and so did Elvis. I'm trying to be fair, right? So a great look. Sorry, there might be people coming and going because my kids are outside playing with the neighbours. So Tetra 2024. We spoke earlier. Nice to meet you. And all right, I'm just doing a live. So he came in at the end of the live, and we did have a quick discussion. Louis, it was great to catch you live. I just caught you at the tail end of your live. It was 6:30 a.m. and here in New York City, and just got up. You can say it was coffee with Louis. I went back and watched what I missed live. I agree with you with what you said. Priscilla was too young. I think she was obviously way too young to have a serious relationship. It was a bad move for Elvis. It was bound to implode, and she should have divorced him and moved on. And I do believe that. But money corrupts, and I also do believe that money brings out the worst in some people. Anne Margaret was loyal and loved Elvis. She definitely was and definitely did. And I really like Anne Margaret. But being honest, Anne Margaret did have an affair with somebody else's husband. That happened. They were married. They had a child. Tell me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure that they were married. I'm not 100% if Lisa Marie had been born. Tell me, guys. I'm not sure. But she was definitely married when he had his affair with Anne Margaret. Am I correct? Please put me right. If I'm wrong, I apologize. Was Lisa Marie born when Elvis was making the film with Anne Margaret? Was that Viva Las Vegas? I'm not sure. Please tell me. Right, let's have a look. So I've got lots of praise for Anne Margaret. She was a lovely girl. She's always been loyal to him. And whenever she's been interviewed about Elvis, she's always been true and genuine and kept the important things to herself. I've got a lot of praise for her, but she was seeing another person's man. She was. We can't get away from that. So let's keep going. She never talked about him. Linda Thompson loved Elvis by all accounts. I totally agree. Linda Thompson is lovely. They had a beautiful relationship. And I know they were together every day for the first year they saw each other. I think they were together for 4 years. And eventually, Linda Thompson became like his nanny, his mother. And she was trying to keep him alive and watching over him when he had his meals at night, because he would fall asleep eating. And the medication problems have become very serious. And obviously he had started to put on weight and he just was very unwell. And eventually Linda Thompson just couldn't take it anymore and plucked up the courage to leave Elvis. But I know that when she left him, she still loved him truly. I really like Linda Thompson. She's another one. If you listen to her interviews, going way back to the late 70s, early 80s, she is very genuine and decent. And even now, if you listen to Linda Thompson's interviews, she is a very respectful lady. And I've got a lot of praise for Linda Thompson. I would say she's probably one of my favorite girlfriends that Elvis ever had. Anyway, Priscilla, I think, cared for him, but not loved him. Now, my view on that is I think she was very infatuated. I think there may have been love around the time they got married and she had the baby. But I think after the baby was born, everything changed. And was that love? Probably not. And I think Elvis just wasn't sure himself. Yeah. So do I think Elvis loved Priscilla? I do, but it was on and off. And it was to suit the lifestyle he was living. And I also think the medication affected things a lot. And obviously, he was a very unwell man as well. And now these things affected him as well. And I think Elvis, if he was alive today, would have a lot of regrets on how he treated Priscilla. But I also think Priscilla went after Elvis too much, especially financially. I think that she kept going back for more money. And I think she got very greedy. I really believe that. But I also feel sorry for her that she that he was being so unfaithful and living a double life, but she was also being very unfaithful. She was. They were both being unfaithful to each other. They both mistreated each other. I have to be fair there. This is just I'm just a fan with an opinion. Anyway, she was still in her 20s when they split up. And then it says, then he praises my channel. Thank you very much. And I look forward to speaking to you very soon. Was it Jamie? I forget your name now, but on here it's Tetra. Let's go to the next comment. Right, this is a long comment. Oh my God. Thank you so much for these very long comments, but I'm not very good at reading. I left school when I was 15, so bear with me. I think she thought he was handsome and liked the idea he was the most famous man in the world, but I don't know how much of it wasn't a high school crush. She would help her reputation if she would stick to one story at a time. She does keep changing her story. She does. And I noticed this a lot in the Piers Morgan interview. When you leave someone publicly and try to rub it in every talk show when he said nothing publicly, makes you look mean. And this is true. The early interviews with Priscilla, even though she did praise Elvis, but she also played the victim. She did. She would say that she was left alone and that he was so unfaithful and that he had a bad temper. And she would bring these things up, and that he wouldn't sleep with her after the baby was born. And all these things were repeated in the sort of early 80s, late. And I don't think she should have done that. And I think her book, Elvis and Me, was quite cruel to Elvis as well. She said a lot of things that I think she should have kept to herself, private things that people should keep here. Yeah. So that's my opinion on that. Anyway, so right. So after Elvis had died, she was claiming abuse and there was a lot of false info, as his ex-wife was not smart, particularly when there were so many witnesses to their relationship. His grandma, his bodyguards, his aunts, his uncles, his childhood friends all lived on his 14-acre estate. Elvis was about taking care of everybody. He sure was. Granted, Priscilla had no privacy, but she knew that at 18, when she arrived at Graceland with the total consent of her parents, when she was married him at 21, she still knew the life of a superstar was not easy. She definitely knew what she was getting into when she married Elvis, 100%. But did she think having a child might change Elvis? Because do women think that having a child might change their man for the better? I'm asking you that. So, yet she still signed on for all the glitz and glamour and money. And I agree with that. She really did reap the benefits of fame and glamour and money and the high life and obviously homes and cars and holidays. She really did have an amazing time when she was with Elvis. And there's plenty of video footage that prove that she had the time of her life. It wasn't a totally miserable time for her. She was locked in a house crying, waiting for Elvis. I don't believe that picture that she has painted, that she really suffered waiting for Elvis. I don't believe it. I think that she had a lot of friends in Graceland. She was good friends with all of the Memphis Mafia's wives. She obviously had her sister, but she was heartbroken. I accept that, but she was also being unfaithful while she was heartbroken. So she is playing the victim. I have to say that. And when she says that he was the love of her life, I can't agree with that, because she had a 20-odd year relationship with another man and a child with another man. It just doesn't add up. But anyway, let's have a look. Money is always her goal, like suing your own granddaughter. She definitely should not have sued her own granddaughter. I'm completely against that. You don't go for the jugular when your daughter's just died. It's all about money, and this is wrong. These are the mistakes that Priscilla is making. Yeah. Let's have a look. And then then almost forcing Lisa Marie to get into Scientology. I don't agree with that either. She shouldn't have got into Scientology at such a young age. What real say did she have? You know, enjoy your few years and get to know your twin daughters better, and try not to trash the superstar that they never knew. Be a good person for a change. I completely agree with this sentence, that she's very elderly, and I know she looks younger, but at the end of the day, she's an elderly woman. She has beautiful grandchildren that are still alive. She's lost her daughter. She's lost her grandson. So forget money and just really be a kind person, be a good person, and be with your family and praise. If you want to, if her life has to revolve around Elvis Presley, which she's obviously chosen that it should, do it in a kind, nice way. Great comment there at the end. Right, let's have a look here. Another long comment. I hope I'm not boring you guys. Some of these comments are quite long. It shouldn't be hard to believe that they truly loved each other till the end, because they did. Elvis was the one true love of her life. Right, obviously, this is a Priscilla fan, and I respect Priscilla fans as well. I want to hear your point of view. So it's Forever VSX. Let's have a look. Just because she had another child and a relationship for 20 years does not mean she didn't continue loving Elvis. She never remarried because she actually was holding out for Elvis with hopes that he'd change, and Elvis never remarried because he truly wanted Priscilla back. And during those years, they were working towards a reconciliation slowly, but it was happening. Priscilla needed to be sure that Elvis can stay with one woman, and sadly, at the end of his life is when they were making it happen. Ginger was to be gone, and he was cleaning up his life and getting rid of a majority of the Memphis Mafia. These are all facts. Elvis wanted his family back. Priscilla's parents both had said Elvis could not let go. He loved her tremendously and learned after the divorce just how much he appreciated the life they had. I mean, this is very rose-tinted. Very rose-tinted. And I think if you are an Priscilla fan, you're going to believe all the things in this. But what I will say, my comment on that is, yes, there was times, this is my opinion as a fan, yes, there was times when Elvis regretted splitting up from Priscilla and wished he had been faithful and kept his family together, and did hate the fact that the family had broke up. He was a good Christian man. He wanted to do the right thing for his daughter and with Priscilla. I agree. There was some truth to this, but so much went on with the unfaithfulness and with the money grabbing when they were divorcing, and after they were divorcing, when Priscilla was coming back for more, and there was other men, and just things went on that this is just rose tinted. He wasn't getting ready to get back with Priscilla and reunite with his family when he was with Ginger Older. No, they were way past all that. And too much had happened. There was too much water under the bridge. There was no going back. And I think even the friendship that Elvis had with Priscilla, it was on and off, because stuff would come up. Priscilla would try and get things and demand things. She was a very demanding person. So the friendship was tested. Yeah. So I'm sorry, but I agree with little bits. Now, do I think that Elvis went through phases where he missed Priscilla and felt like he loved her and missed being with Lisa Marie? Yeah, definitely. All right. Hello, Joy Lang. Can you please tell me where you're from, Joy? I'm from Southwest UK. My name's Louis. And yes, I know all about Child Bride. And let me just read your comment, if you don't mind. Read Child Bride. It was very informative because the author and Priscilla didn't want to come to Memphis. She had a new boyfriend, but her parents forced her. She wouldn't remarry because of the name. Now, I haven't read the book front to back, but I've read lots of parts of that book, and I'm not convinced that everything in that book is correct. Now, obviously, some of the things I need more time to research that book to really decide how much of it is true. But thanks for letting me know about Child Bride, because it is very, very interesting. From Nashville. Hello, Nashville. Nice to meet you, Joy. She changed her name back, and then after Elvis died, she needed money. I agree. I'll make this very clear. I definitely do not think that Priscilla should have gone back to using the Presley name. It makes no sense. It makes no sense. She stopped using the name, was proud to use Bulow, used Bulow for a few years, and then after he's passed away, I don't know the exact date, started using the name Presley again, even though she's had different partners and had a child. It doesn't make any sense. I've never known any woman ever to split up from a man, stop using his name, and then years later decide she wants to use it again. Makes no sense. Doesn't add up. And now, if he had died and they were still together, they were still married, then yes, women still carry on using the name of their husbands or ex-partners, because there's children, and the children want to keep the name. I get it, but years later to take the name back, nah, I'm not convinced. I'm sorry. Right, so okay, Joy, let's read your comment. Oh, my screen, right. She interviewed everyone and put source in the book. I read Linda Thompson's book, Ginger Alden, and about 6 more. I read Elvis, What Happened, when it was first released. Yes, and I know all about the Elvis, What Happened book, the Memphis Mafia, and I think it was treacherous. I know that they try and blag it to say they were trying to help him because of his medication problems, but nah, they were bitter, they were angry, they were gutted that they'd been sacked in the way that they were sacked, and they wanted revenge. And yeah, they were the press were all over them and were treating them like traitors, and they tried to cover their backs. So I'm just going to let my son in. I'm doing a line at the moment. Use this. All right, yeah. Come on in, right? Come on in. I'm doing a line. All right, my son Tino is here. Tino, I'm going to let him go on the phone so I have some privacy and quiet. Sorry about that. So, Tino, can you see Tino? Can you see Tino? Give us a wave. Go on. He's not got a wave. He's been outside playing with his friends. Right, so let's carry on. So, yes, yeah, I know Linda Thompson's book and Ginger Alden's book. Yeah. Then Elvis, What Happened? I think it was treachery, that book. I completely disagree that they wrote that book. They're out of order, and I think every single one of them regretted it for the rest of their lives. And they've almost all of them have passed away now, haven't they? And I actually think if they could turn back the clock, they would not have written that book. And it only came out only a few weeks before he died. So that says a lot. So, right. So where are we with this? So where are we? Let's try and get the end of a sentence. Elvis never remarried. Oh no, we've already read this one. Right, okay. Yeah, and Connie is saying there's a lot of haters for Priscilla, and there's thousands. And I'm not a hater. I truly mean this. I am not a Priscilla hater. But I want, with you guys, with my subscribers and with Elvis fans, to understand why the fans are so upset. And I'm trying to pick out the facts and try and get to as close to the truth as we can. And so Vernon didn't do them right. Elvis told him to give the severance pay, and Vernon didn't do it. Yes, I know about that, Joy. And but he was worried. He was under a lot of pressure because they literally they had very serious money problems. Like Elvis was uncontrollably spending, and Vernon, you know what it's like. You see, he would look after the finances and pay all the bills and pay the staff and pay the running costs of Graceland. He was seriously worried, Vernon was. So I know that Elvis would always say, "Oh, I'll just go and do another tour," you know. But Elvis was just stupidly generous. I don't mean that word horribly. Elvis was lovely, and his generosity was beautiful. Yeah, but everyone was worried about the spending. Everyone. He was the most generous man that's ever lived, I would say. Right. I don't hate her, but she milked his name. Plus, she is an ex-wife. She doesn't deserve to be buried there. I read his estate. I read his estate was it was 2 million at the time of his death. Right. Let's go back to the comment quickly. I don't want to lose the comments. But she definitely milked him. I agree. She definitely milked him and went back and back for more, and she's still milking him now. But I also think there is a side to her that's very proud to boast about Elvis and being the one who married him and had his child. But there's a whole nother side to her that it's all business, it's all money, it's all reinventing the narrative, the story to suit herself. And this I don't like, because I think many things have been changed with her, the way she tells her stories when she's being interviewed, that aren't the actual truth. And like the Priscilla film, I've watched the Priscilla film, and I didn't like the way it was so one-sided for her. I didn't like it. And Elvis was painted to be this sort of miserable, moany, angry, unfaithful person that was strung out all the time. I just didn't like it. I thought the film was terrible. And Priscilla is always made to look good, and I think it's not fair because Priscilla made many mistakes. She did. Priscilla was naughty. Yeah, she was also unfaithful. She was up to no good as well. They both were. Elvis and Priscilla were both doing things that were wrong. So I don't like the way that Elvis is always the bad guy, the unfaithful one, the angry one. When I don't think you'll ever meet anyone. No, I don't think I'll ever say a name of a celebrity that has ever done as much good as Elvis. Elvis, to me, is the most generous celebrity that has ever lived, ever. He did so much good. I think it would take 100 years to list all the good he did. And this is what I've learned on my channel. The amount of good he did is unbelievable. Unbelievable. Where now, if I said to you, what good did Priscilla do? There is no comparison. So for Elvis to always be the bad guy, I have to defend him. I have to be on his side. But I am trying to see both points of view, and I completely respect people. If they are Priscilla fans, I completely respect that. You are entitled to feel how you feel and support her if that's your thing. And it's obvious that I'm an Elvis fan, but I also will listen to all points of view, as long as people aren't being rude. Yeah. So, okay. She loved being Priscilla Presley for attention. Yes. She took the name Presley back so she could have fame, and the name Presley opened 1 million doors for her, and it kept her up there in a very sort of Hollywood celebrity style glamorous life. It kept her up there. Yeah, it did. And anyone that thinks that it didn't is wrong. Right, let's have a look. So, all right, 1 second. Right, I'll just be a sec. You on your phone, mate? Okay, I'm going to say goodbye in a minute. So, No! Yeah, I'm coming. 1 second. Right. 1 second, matey. Right. The joys of having children. Right, don't worry, I'm coming now. Get something up there. Right, I'm going to make some dinner in a minute. Right, sorry about that, kids. I'm going to read a couple more comments and then I'm going to wrap things up. Right, sorry about that. The joys of live stream. Okay, where are we? Let's have a look. So, everything is contrived with Priscilla. Money is always her goal, like suing your own granddaughter to get Graceland and calling in Scientology to mediate for her. Look, we are old. The ship has sailed. Enjoy your few years and get to know your twin granddaughter and try not to trash a superstar. They'll never knew. Be a good person. Okay, I've already read that one, but that's a good comment. I think that's really good. Yeah, so let's have a look here. Let's go down. All right, so we're coming to the end now. This is the comments on this particular feed. Yeah, they sure do. And Tino is 4. Yeah, and I have 6 children, believe it or not. And so 2 of them are grown up, and I've still got 4 small children. Let's have a look. Oh, there's more comments here. Let's have a look at this. Let's have a look. Lorraine, someone's replying to someone. People have their eyes closed. There are only the real lovers, beloved Elvis, who know what Priscilla Bulow is worth. For my part, I try not to read anything about her anymore. I just ask that she's not buried in Graceland, that she leaves to join all the other boyfriends. 52. Sorry. She does not let go, even though he's been dead 47 years. Elvis tries to rest in peace with your dear family. You deserve it so much. Taking care of business sincerely. And that's from Pusin, one of my regular subscribers who comments regularly. Thanks, Pusin. And then he wants to add a bit more here. I add, with all this money that she snatched from him during her short life with him, and then during the divorce and after the divorce, added to the money requested by Colonel Tom Parker and all the other expenses that he had every day, plus his multiple illnesses and his malaise, etc. Poor Elvis was bled white and died. And unfortunately, his ending was very, very sad. Very sad. So, anyway, you're getting the gist, and that is, there is so much upset out there about Elvis. Just so much. It's like, Like, you could probably write 50 books about the upset there is. Let's just go back to some more comments. So let me just click on this one. And I said this on the last video, and that is, I think the Elvis fans want questions answered. Yeah, there are a lot of allegations against Priscilla, things that the fans say she has done wrong, and detailed things that the fans will break down and explain, and these fans really believe it. Now, here's one here. Joanne Guro, how could you take $900,000 from her daughter without her knowing, and then suing Lisa's daughter? She paid £400,000 for her grandmother's suing. I want to Graceland when it first opened. It was more intimate. Yes, and I've heard that quite a few times, Joy, that it's very different now. It's very commercial now. I think once the whole Elvis Presley Enterprises, once the deal was done, I don't know the deals of the deal, but I know that didn't Lisa Marie end up only owning 15% of Elvis Presley Enterprises, but she still retained ownership of Graceland. I think that's what happened. So we know about the amazing hotel that has been built around Graceland, and I've seen loads of videos. It does look phenomenal. I would love to go. I absolutely would love to go to Memphis and stay in a massive hotel and visit Graceland and all the other sites. And I want to visit Mississippi Tupelo and all the Shake Rag type areas, and I want to go to Beale Street. I want to go to all the main places. Obviously, Sun Records, which I think was originally called Sun Studios. I want to go to all the iconic places. I want to go to where he bought his first guitar, and all the iconic places. I want to go big time, and I really hope one day I do get to go. So I really hope Riley take note of these comments with what her mama and her granddaddy would want one day again and again. She is Priscilla Bueller and does not belong to the Presleys anymore. She lived with her son's dad for 20 years as common law married. My uncle worked for Elvis, and her father told Elvis that he worked right. It's not right. Let me just try and start again. My uncle worked for Elvis, and her father told Elvis that he go to the press if he didn't marry Priscilla. Right, that he would go to the press. So, and I've heard this many times, that they were going to go to the press if he didn't marry Priscilla. Let's have a look. Elvis Presley's cousin Billy Smith YouTube channel is called Elvis Fans Matter, and Billy's son, his YouTube Memphis Mafia Kid. Yes, I've heard of these two channels. Right, let's have a look. How is it possible that Riley claims that the opening Graceland to the world would have been her grandmother's idea? How could she ignore that her grandfather had not implicated his ex-wife in his will? Graceland is what it is thanks to her grandfather and his fans. Her grandmother just takes as much of the money as she can. Well, I don't fully agree with that. I do agree that Priscilla wasn't the reason Graceland opened. There was a lot of help and other people involved. And I know about Vernon behind the scenes was also considering opening Graceland to the public as a living museum. But Priscilla was the front woman. She was. And she did that speech that we've all seen on YouTube. And I do think Priscilla was a massive help to get Graceland open and did Graceland a lot of good in the early years. I have to give her that credit. But do I think Priscilla is the reason Graceland opened and was a living museum? No, definitely not. Do I think Priscilla was the reason Graceland was a success? Definitely not. Elvis Presley is the reason that Graceland is so successful. Elvis Presley is the is the person that has won the affection and the love of millions of fans of all ages around the world. It's Elvis, not Priscilla. Priscilla is not keeping Elvis's legacy alive. Elvis is keeping his own legacy alive with the way his personality and his voice and his talent and his looks were imprinted on the world, imprinted on our culture. And whether Priscilla existed or not, Elvis was going to stay famous even 47 years after his passing, regardless of Priscilla. I truly believe that. Now, yes, Priscilla has made a great living of helping keep his legacy going for the last 40 odd years, but she is not the reason. She's one of many. She is one of hundreds of thousands of people that have helped Elvis's legacy stay strong. She is just one of them. We as fans are also part of that. But the number one person keeping Elvis's legacy alive is Elvis. So, ex-wife divorced. I'm not going to argue the case about the last name. My parents divorced when I was 2. They hated each other's guts. 50 years later, my mother still uses her married name. Here is the kicker. She got remarried when I was 18 and still kept my father's name. I read Child Bride and I tried to research each person in that book and came up empty-handed. We never heard from any of those people in the book. It's very suspicious. Yeah, so I'm not convinced with the Child Bride book, but yes, this is Cheryl Spencer. I understand what you've just said, but did you give up the name and then take it back after? It doesn't make sense. This is the bit that doesn't make sense. You don't give up a name and then take it back. I'll never accept that. Right, Julie's. So hi, Julie, if you're watching. I'm not passionate or angry towards Priscilla. I'm just saying how I truly feel about her. I don't think she ever truly loved Elvis. I think her intention was to get at Elvis's money and use his fame to her advantage. Priscilla is all about Priscilla and always has been. It's very sad, but true nonetheless. I think Elvis had a genuine affection for Priscilla, but didn't honestly love her with all his heart. Even though he married her and had a baby with her, I just think they were both incompatible and should never have married at all. And all of that is probably true. Do I think Elvis didn't love Priscilla? No, I think he probably did love her at times. They were obviously not compatible because Elvis was never going to be faithful. And she was the type of person, if she was left alone, was also unfaithful. So they both had a problem with infidelity. Priscilla blaming Elvis for her infidelity doesn't change the facts that she was unfaithful. She still was unfaithful. It's still wrong. The best forever. Hi, Jane, Elvis Presley. Where are you, Jane? What country are you from? Nice to meet you. I'm Louis, by the way. She never loved Elvis at all. I mean, we weren't there. It could have just been infatuation, couldn't it? But I think, as a fan from Leicester, UK, hi, Leicester. And I think, just as a fan, I think she probably did love him for a while, but was it the beautiful, true love that we would love Elvis to have had with Priscilla? Probably not. Probably not. So we'll never know. We weren't there. But right. So then we get. I'm not going to. There's you have Barbara Morgan, who has put some very, very long, angry messages calling us all Priscilla haters. I think if you guys want to read those messages, it's Barbara Morgan. It's clearly there on the comments. I find them a little bit rude, a bit offensive. So I'm not going to read them out. I won't delete them because I think she deserves to have her say. You read them, guys, and you can reply to her and decide for yourself. So you know, she's obviously very, very passionate. She's posted a lot of messages on my channel. Anyway, guys, I think I'm going to go now. I hope I haven't waffled too long. I do just like to sort of involve you guys with the lives, also with my videos that I make now. I do try and interact, and I try and make them as if we are watching the videos together, so that you can comment on them and we can both feel like we're actually watching them together. So that's just my way of doing things, and I do read every comment, and you guys are helping me learn. I am still learning every day about Elvis, and I want to learn more because there's a lot of things I don't know, and I do mix up my facts and I do get things wrong. So please comment and help me learn more about Elvis and everything to do with Elvis. Thanks, guys. I wish you well. Have a great evening. I'm not sure what time it is where you are, but I've really enjoyed talking to you. I'll give you a wave as I go.